All right, peace and blessings, family. This is your radio host, Nicky Love, a.k.a. Voodoo, your spiritual guide, along with my sister, my co-host, I'm Messiah Soul. Peace and blessings, sis. How are you?
Nicky Love, what is good in the hood?
You know, I'm excited about the show tonight. We got a special guest coming on. Chris Kehler is going to be our special guest tonight for the listeners in the audience and on the line. So we're going to wait a few minutes before we bring our guests in. But to give you a little insight about Chris Kehler is a quantum energy practitioner, okay? And I'm sure he'll explain a little bit more when he gets on. We'll let him give some more detail. But you all remember last year, it was 2 years ago, where we did a show on quantum physics, quantum mechanics, quantum jumping. You know, I get into the sacred geometry. So, I mean, you know, he's coming at the right time. But what he does is he uses pendulum. Now, since I'm sorry, you know I have an Egyptian pendulum that I use sometime when I do readings as well. But he uses pendulums, and he says he uses the pendulum dowsing method of finding the health problem in your body. Now, you know, and that's a beautiful thing because, you know, I also can see. I'm a medical intuitive, so I can see into people's body, but I'm loving this way that he's doing it, and he'll explain more when he comes on. I'm interested in how he does it. And he also uses sacred geometry, such as pyramids, to neutralize the quantum energy of the problem. Now, it says Chris is the owner of Chris Kehler Holistic Quantum Point Technologies, and he also runs an Ideal Protein Weight Loss Clinic in Winnipeg, Canada. Now, you know, it's funny, we couldn't get Chris's picture up, so we do apologize because we were having a hard time, and it's okay because it's more important to get the information. However, what Chris don't know, as I was looking at his picture, Sister Messiah, he doesn't know he has some black ancestors walking with him, okay? And we'll talk about that when he comes on because I can see them clearly. But I'm excited to have him on as a guest tonight, family. If you all want to get your pens and pads out and write some, you know, notes down, take some notes. Also, we'll be putting Chris's link to in the chat room for his website later on, family. But we're going to go ahead and the lines are filling up. We're going to let the chat room fill up a little bit more. Okay, family?
Well, Nicky, I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful because he's using the energy like a vortex healing, you know, figuring out where the issues are in the body. You know what they have this thing called body talk, right?
Right.
Where, you know, you have medical intuitives that can communicate with your body. And that's what I'm saying when we'll get into it, man, because, you know, I'm ready because you have something called disease, but it's dis-ease.
Correct.
You know, and then you go into the body, Nicky, especially with your spiritual eye, you know right away, hey, something ain't right with them fallopian tubes. You know, and it's like you can peer inside the body. You know what? I'm thinking it's a little bit like, you know, how Superman can look through people? That's what you do. It's Superman.
Yeah. You know, it's a beautiful thing to be able to actually see, you know, with my spiritual eye. You know, when I can look into people's body and see what's going on with the health, and, you know, they go to the doctors, it's confirmed, and, you know, a lot of times, you know, sometimes the ancestors give me herbs to recommend to them, but I'm just loving the new way because I've never heard of the way that Chris does it, but it's a beautiful thing to always know different ways to heal our people, and that's what we're in the spiritual business to do, you know, to heal our people, to help our people. So at the end of the day, it's good to learn new ways to do this. Now, I'm very interested in what he has to say.
Right here.
See, the chat is filling up, family. For those of you who just joined, we have our special guest tonight, Chris Kehler, okay? And if you did not hear, Chris is a quantum energy practitioner. I'm not going to go through it again because I'm going to let him come on and explain, but it's going to be some good information if you want to get pen and pad and write down your notes, and we're also going to be putting Chris's link in the chat room. So you all can also check out his website while we're on air while he's speaking. And then, of course, you all know we go to the 11 o'clock break. We'll be taking a break at 11 o'clock. And we'll be discussing other things as well because Chris has extensive, you know, information on Voodoo. He studied that. He's well-rounded, you know, with the information. So we'll be discussing many things as well with Chris tonight. Okay? You know, he's done a lot of research, you know. So we'll talk about that. He's going to talk about the law of attraction, okay? He found a way to turn it on, okay? And that's very interesting because that was one of the questions we used to have when we used to get into the law of attraction and the secret. A lot of people say, well, how come some can do it and others can't do it? So I'm just curious how he turns it on, because that was one of the biggest, questions we would get from the listening people was how? I can't do it. How can he attract $1 million and I can't? You see what I'm saying? So I'm just really interested in what he has to share with us about that. But now, we got a few people in the chat, and the lines look like they're pretty much filled up. So we're going to go ahead, family, and bring our special guest on, Chris Kehler, who's going to join us tonight. Chris, if you're on the line, I need you to press 1 on your keypad so we can open your line. Here we have Chris.
Hi, how you doing tonight?
Good evening, Chris. How are you?
I'm never better, thanks. It's good to be on. Thank you for having me on.
Not a problem, not a problem. Well, Chris, we got people in the chat and on the lines, and for one, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody about what you do and who you are.
Well, my name is Chris. I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, way up north, just a little bit above the U.S. border. As you said, I am a quantum energy practitioner. What that means is I work with the energy and frequency within your body at the quantum level, which is the smallest measurable amount of energy that there is. And what I'm able to do is with my pendulum and the charts that I've developed is to ask your body a question and to find out exactly where a health problem is within your body and to find out exactly what that health problem is, okay? Once I find that out, I use a series of pyramids and different sacred geometry that I use in my clinic to raise the frequency within your body and to tell the quantum energy within your body to neutralize whatever it is I find. So let's say you come to me and you've got blood sugar issues, you got diabetes. So of course I'm going to find something wrong within your pancreas, whether it could be the pancreatic duct or the pancreas itself. But more so, I'm going to find out what the problem is. So whether it's a virus, a parasite, a negative energy, an entity, a spirit, a mineral deficiency, or a mineral excess, whatever it is I find, one way or another, by using energy, we can neutralize the problem. Or if it's just a case of a mineral deficiency, we can suggest to use a specific mineral.
Oh, wow. I think that's beautiful, Chris, because of the simple fact that, you know what, I hopefully we'll get into it tonight about bloodless surgeries, where you can prevent a surgery.
Oh, yes.
So I think that if you can go into that when you have a chance, because a lot of people don't want to get cut open, because once they get cut open, that's curtains. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So if you can explain that.
Well, basically, bloodless surgery, okay, so let's say I'm working on somebody. Somebody comes in and they've got a heart problem. Of course, you don't want to go in under the knife and get your chest cracked open and do heart surgery. So what I'm able to do is with my charts, I've got a lot of anatomy charts, and so I work within the spiritual realm and the physical realm. So I can look and see what area of the heart with my pendulum is the weakest. So let's say it's one of the valves. So I can find out what is causing a problem within the valve. Now, more times than any, with any kind of heart problem, it's going to be a parasite problem. I work on more parasite removal than almost anything else, next to removing spirits. So very, very often, if somebody has a heart problem, do a parasite cleanse, okay? And the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to kill some parasites and cleanse your body of parasites. So that's what I usually recommend for anybody with a heart problem. Do a parasite cleanse. If a dog can have a heartworm, you can have a heartworm. Think about it. Open your mind a little bit.
Interesting. Some people are like, I got worms in me. But hey, we all have worms.
Yeah, I do live blood analysis also. So what I do is I do tangible work. So if you're in my office and my pendulum says you have parasites, well, I'm going to take a drop of blood from your finger, put it in my microscope, and we're going to see parasites. So then we know within a reasonable doubt that there is a parasite problem within your body.
Very interesting. Wow. That's very interesting. So now with the pendulum, what type of pendulum do you use?
I use all different types. For me, it doesn't really matter what pendulum I use. Generally, I use a Botswana agate. That stone itself is designed to find the root cause of a problem. So that's what I use. I use quartz. I use copper. Wherever I got in my hand at that time is what I use. It doesn't really make a difference for me.
Okay. All right. Now, I heard you say you even remove spirits, Chris. Talk a little bit about that, because, I as a spiritual African indigenous witch or traditional practitioner, do exorcism. So is it sort of like the same type of method that you use to remove spirits?
It is and it isn't. When people say the word exorcism, the first thing you think of is the movie The Exorcist, where somebody's head's spinning 360 degrees and you're puking out green stuff. It's not quite like that. If you consider that everything is energy and everything is vibration. So when you die, okay, so let's say you died and you don't know you're dead. So a spirit can get into your aura, into your chakra system, into your body, just because it wants to be there, okay, for all intents and purposes. So now what's going to happen is that your body knows something is wrong. Something's not supposed to be there. So it's going to react. It's going to, let's say that spirit is within your heart, okay? Now you're going to start getting heart palpitations. You're going to feel weak. You're going to have a bunch of symptoms of heart problems. You're going to go to the doctor, and he's going to do all these different tests, and he's going to say, we can't find anything. That's because they can't find anything. So when I use my pendulum, it's going to tell me what type of spirit, whether it's a poltergeist, whether it's an earthbound entity, whether it's an entity of like an extraterrestrial. I work on many, many of those. So when I use the intent, now it's very, very important when you use intent that you're very accurate with the intent. So if it's an earthbound spirit, you call it a poltergeist, well, then universal law says it doesn't have to go. So when you identify it properly, and you use the right intent and the right tools to pull it out, and you escort it to the light. You have your guides, you have your angels, bring it into the light to take it away from your body. And then, right after that, after there's a spiritual entity problem, then you have to look for a physical problem, because they generally go hand in hand.
Interesting, okay. So now, you said you work on extraterrestrials. We did a show the other night on... we had a whole show on the Galactic Federation, and we talked about the extraterrestrials. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when I'm working, my charts are very vast. I work very open-mindedly. I don't have a box, so I haven't learned really from a specific course or a certain teacher. I just research all different types of possibilities that could be going on in the body. So very often there are Zeta Reticuli, which are the little gray aliens with the big buggy eyes. We're basically all born with one, okay? And they will usually hang out in your brain or within your stomach, and this is just the energy of them. You're not going to cut your body open and see a little gray alien playing video games. It's not quite like that. But there's also reptilian aliens. There's many different types, about 7 or 8 different types that I do clearings on. The latest one I have found is a group of interdimensional beings called the DYN, D-Y-N. And they're one of the last ones that has to leave before the Earth can go through its ascension process. So they themselves, just like a spirit in your body, are going to cause a disruption. Your body's going to try and fight it with its immune system, and then cause other autoimmune problems, and the domino effect starts. Okay. Did you say the DYN, D-Y-N, or Z-Y-N? D-Y-N, the DYN. Okay. No, I'm looking at my list of aliens, the alien, different type of aliens, and I don't see them on here. I see the zeros. That's because I discovered them. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Yeah, my pendulum talks to me. I have a letter chart, okay, A to Z, and I ask it questions, and it spells things out for me. So it's something that exists when you work on somebody with it, and it makes a difference in their health problem. You know it exists. Right. Well, what's amazing about it is that, I'm writing a book called Dimensional Doorways to Reality, and just talking about how we are universes within universes, So I'm not surprised that, you finding within a body, another, type of alien, that exists, because, I believe that these, our bodies, the cells in our bodies are just like universes, They are. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Well, now this one you said before we make a transition, this one has to be gotten rid of, right?
That's right. I think it's June 20th. Well, the upcoming solstice is going to be a very, very big activation date for energy within the Earth. The whole fifth dimension ascension process is all due to the fact that the Earth is going to ascend, and we're going to ascend with it. So once the Earth grid is cleared of all these extraterrestrials, these entities, these spirits, all this energy, then the Earth is more available to ascend.
So now, let me ask you, Chris, because, when I teach about the ascension period in the fifth dimension, we talk about how the planets are also going through a transformation as well. Now, is this in line with the time being of the Aquarius and the 26,000-year transformation, the DNA, and I like to say not activation, but DNA reactivation. So this is all in line with that, and the planets are also changing as well.
That's right. Everything is changing. Everything is going to go through this big metamorphosis of energy. And my pendulum is telling me that God is finally going to be able to intervene with what's going on in the Earth, and changes can now be made, and changes will stick.
So when we're talking about the changes, because one of the things we teach here is peace, harmony, love, humanity coming together, a lot of the evil, the hate, the destruction, the chaos that goes on in this earth, that's what we're here as spiritualists, and, if you being a spiritualist, doing what you're doing is to bring the better good back to this earth.
100%, absolutely.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Sister Homicide, do you have any questions?
I tell you, this is now a question. Now I'm going into my spiritual eye. When you're going through someone's body, or do you follow the chakra point grid, for example? Do you go through the chakras first? How do you work it? If someone says, I have bad gas,
okay.
I don't know why, so how do you go through the chakra system first, or you just put the pendulum over the stomach, and if it starts going around in 360 degrees crazy, okay, something is wrong with the stomach area. So what areas do you work with? The root chakra, crown chakra?
Well, I work with all the chakras. Okay, now here's how I always start, and this is interesting. What I always do first is I go into the 15th dimension, and I pull the person's etheric template in their aura out of the 15th dimension and put it back in their body, okay? And then I go into the 77th dimension, and I take their original chakra system and put it back in their body. Because we all have these areas taken out of us, and they're put aside. The 15th dimension is the playground of the gods. We're being manipulated like puppets in certain ways, okay? We're all here as a game, okay? So if you consider that the 15th dimension is the playroom of the gods, that's where they can manipulate us. So once I pull those two areas back and put them in your body, then it's a lot easier to read you with my pendulum. And I don't hold it over the body. I hold it over a series of charts that I have, and the pendulum just swings to a certain chart. And it tells me what area and what the problem is. Now, if it is a chakra issue, we'll work with the chakra system. Sometimes, the chakras can be flipped. The first can be at the 7th position, and that can cause a bipolar problem. Sometimes there's chakras missing, and we have to get them back and put them back in the body. So, yeah, I definitely do work in the chakra system, but not every problem is a chakra problem.
Okay, wow. So when you put a pendulum over an area that I would say, I would use this term, vexed or angry, how does your pendulum move? Does it go crazy, 360 degrees? Does it go left to right? How do you know when you could sense something through the pendulum that something is wrong here with this area of a person's body?
Yeah, like I said, I use charts which like a semicircle and spokes that come out of it with a word in each slot. So when the pendulum is moving over the chart, it's going to point to a certain slot. And I know that it's in the right spot. When I get a feeling in my heart, I just know that it's in the right spot.
Okay.
So I don't use it like you do, like over the body or anything like that. I use it in a different way.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Many ways to cook a potato.
That's right. That's very true. Very true. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about, I've always been intrigued with the sacred geometry. Let's talk a little bit about you using pyramids to neutralize this energy. How do you use the pyramids? Because my manager went on the website, but I did get a chance to see it briefly, and I've seen the pyramids that you use. Now, it's funny because I keep what we call magic pyramids, and I do rituals with them, as an African indigenous priestess, so I do rituals with them. But how do you use the pyramids to neutralize this energy?
Well, basically, what the pyramids do is I use it more or less as an amplifier. Okay, so it's going to take my intent and my quantum energy, and it's going to amplify it greatly when you hold the pyramid towards somebody's body. Now, the pyramid that I have on my website, it's a 5-tier pyramid with many quartz crystals, magnets, different other sacred geometry. It's got some shungite within it. And when you use that type of pyramid, it really amps up the energy. So something that might take normally 20 minutes to do takes me about 30 seconds. Okay. So when you use the pyramid, it just greatly increases the efficiency, and it makes things go much deeper so that when you do remove a problem, 4 or 5 days down the road, it doesn't come back.
Interesting.
So the pyramids work like an antenna, if you will?
An antenna and an amplifier, yes. That's a good way to put it.
Oh, wow.
Now, why did you decide to use pyramids? I'm just curious because, looking at the pyramids in Egypt or ancient Kemet, I know they're made of granite. Did you see a connection with that?
Well, I do have a mentor in Alberta, Canada, who is my tool maker, and he makes all of these tools. There's about 12 different types of sacred geometry tools that he makes. And I started off by using sacred geometry rings called divinity rings. And then I stepped up to the pyramids, and as I started working with them, we started developing better pyramids with higher energy, with better properties and qualities for helping with this type of work. So the pyramids really developed with him and I, and I've just become so in love with them, if you will, that they just work that well for me.
Okay. It's interesting because I have what we call the Isis rods and the Hathor rods, and the Isis rods are used in a similar way. I'm not sure if you heard of them, but these are put. They have a lot of minerals, different herbs and minerals in them. But I also have to put my blood in there to consecrate it, put them in the sun to get energy, and I use that to clear chakras. And then with the Hathor rod, what I do is I actually use that for my rituals, to do magical rituals with.
Yeah, I also use different kinds of rods and wands for certain things, depending on the problem. But 99% of the time, I just love the pyramid. It works so well.
Yeah, I could imagine the pyramid working well. I use the I have the pyramids here that I keep on my ancient shrine that I use to do work as well with. So I could imagine, definitely. Okay. Well, I want to. What I want to do is family, and I want to let everybody know on the lines and in the chat. At 11 o'clock, we're going to take a break, and if you have any questions for Chris, you can press 1 on your keypad, or you can put them in the chat room, and we'll take questions from the chat. But I want you to get a little bit into, you talked about, you did extensive search on voodoo and black magic. Let's talk a little bit about that, because I hear you talking about the spiritual side of it, and as you heard me say, I'm looking at your ancestors that walk with you. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you do have some black ancestors with you. You know that, right?
I love to dance.
I can see them, and I'm seeing an older woman. She looks like she's a fair-skinned woman, but she's a light-skinned black woman that walks on your left side. I don't know if she's a great-grandmother or a great-great-grandmother, but you have some black ancestors, okay?
Cool. I can live with that. That's great.
Yeah, they're actually downloading some information in your DNA. I see it clearly.
See that?
You see it, Sister Amasai? Yeah, I can see it. Okay.
I tell you, I see it as clear.
Okay, now, you said you did your research on voodoo black magic and found the source and strength behind it. So let's talk a little bit about that because, a lot of people nowadays, I notice, are coming out of the churches a lot of people are resorting back to the indigenous ways. I like to say indigenous because, you know, a lot of times people get spooked out when they hear voodoo, black magic, or, you know, witchcraft. You know, we get it all the time because we do have a show here called The Queen Mother Witches and the Witch Doctor, but we're all good, you know. So
right.
I want you to get a little bit into that, being in the research that you have done on it and what you have found.
Okay, so basically everything that I do research, it's all done with my pendulum. It's all done through my guides, and they download information for me that I'm looking for. So I'd gotten a client from Florida, and she knew that she was under a voodoo black magic attack from a lady from Puerto Rico, okay? And everybody knows about this lady. She's had 14 kids from 14 different men. She used 3 of the babies for sacrifices, all this really bad stuff. So I started working with her and just found it was harder and harder for me to clear it out. So I did a lot of research on it, and using my pendulum and I talked to some voodoo priests, getting their opinion on things. I talked to some other people in London, England, who were researching the same thing. And what I came up with is that voodoo and black magic, now if you consider that the type of work that I do and you people do, it's white magic, okay? Consider it white magic. So, of course, there is black magic. So if we're strong enough to raise the vibration in somebody's body and eliminate a health problem, of course there's somebody who's going to be able to do the opposite, to cause a health problem, okay? So what I found out is that all voodoo and black magic and all the dark stuff, anything dark, is done within the 7th dimension, okay? So now what I've done is I did the research on different types of voodoo, and there turned out to be like 30 different types, depending on what area of the world you come from. So if you're from Africa, you practice hoodoo. If you're from Germany, it's a hex. So different areas have got different forms of it. But the basis of it is something called jinn voodoo, D-J-I-N-N. Now that's Arabic for the word genie. So the whole story of the genie in the bottle comes into play, where Aladdin rubs his lamp and the genie comes up and gives him 3 wishes. So once you've done that, you've sold your soul to the dark, okay? So what happens when somebody is practicing dark magic on somebody? I've seen it firsthand where somebody does take a pen, sticks it in a picture, and if your intent is strong enough, you will cause that person a health problem. If somebody thinks negative thoughts about you strong enough and long enough, you will inflict a health problem in that person. Because what's happening is that person who's doing the dark stuff has got dark spirit guides. So these dark guides are going to do bad things. So what the guides do is they go at the speed of light, of course, to wherever they're being directed to, and they're going to cause the health problem. Now, another important thing to know is that within our chakra system, if you're being attacked by voodoo, you have a poltergeist in your chakra system that is carrying out all the instructions. So ultimately, by removing the poltergeist from the chakra system, sending it to ether, and then taking the curse, the spell, whatever it may be, sending it back to the sender times 3, it easily gets rid of the curse or the spell.
Okay.
So by understanding... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I want to correct you on something. In Africa, it's not called hoodoo. It's called traditional medicine, or we go as in Ngangas, as Sengombas. It depends on what tribe you come from. It's called hoodoo. It's called hoodoo in Louisiana. Okay, when you first brought it over to Louisiana, and I have to clarify that because we're a spiritual show, and I talk about this all the time. Now, with me being of African lineage, my mother's from Africa, we speak the language, you cook the food, a lot of people think, associate with voodoo or hoodoo. Voodoo is the Haitian, the voodoo, or voodoo comes from Haiti. It just means, voodoo means spirit, okay? And that's why they call it that. But it was your Louisiana, folks that practice hoodoo. And a lot of these people here that deal in the United States of America deal with any type of traditional, I'm going to say witchcraft for lack of better words, are dealing with a lower level of magic. And we don't consider it dark magic at all. It depends on, what you're dealing with, because a lot of times they associate dark with everything being evil, which is not true, So I just wanted to clarify that because our listening audience, they're really well-versed on here in the spirituality because that's what we do. However, I agree with the fact that, when you send that energy back to them, because that's what I do. I am not in a business, and my sister, I'm going to say, we're not in a business. We don't do any harm to anyone. We do not, they can't come to us to kill anybody. But whenever I do a ritual, when I use all earth elements and I use wooden dolls, I actually take that energy from that and then I send it back to that person. So you're right about that. That's very true. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. But, the interesting thing about it is that when you say it's energy, that's truly correct. It's energy that they're using. When we are doing actual rituals, I put the breath of life in the dolls, and that's energy right there. You see what I'm saying?
That's right. It's intent.
Right. But the Jen, you said the DJINN, right?
Right.
Yeah, the Arabics are known for using it. I know the Muslims use and they call Jinn spirits, and they use them a lot in the Muslim faith and in the a lot of the Arabs that I know use the Jinn spirits. Right.
I think the Nephilim, Nikki. The Nephilim. Yeah, right. They look kind of like. Well, what movie? There was a movie that came out. I'll think about it in a minute. That kind of showed the Nephilim. It'll come to me. But it's very true. But that what's so important about the energy, because we know, hopefully, we can go into a little bit of Einstein's theory of relativity, and how he tried to figure it out, but he didn't figure it out. You know what I mean? Completely. We talk about how energy, energy is like ongoing. It doesn't have a start point. So can you clarify that with the family? Where does energy come from?
Energy comes from source.
Okay.
Straight from God.
And is the source unknown? You know what I mean? Like we don't know. It's not created nor destroyed.
Yeah.
We can harness it though.
Do we need to know that?
That's a good question.
We're a very inquisitive race as humans, okay? We need to know the answer to everything. Sometimes isn't it just good enough to know that yes, we're loved and there's light, and that's all we need to know?
I'm going to say this, and I agree to a certain extent. Yes, we do need to know that we're loved, but I think what it is that with as a human race, what we're seeing now is that, and I always say this, Chris, that, a lot of times we operate our lives from 90% of the subconscious mind, that little screen in the back of your head that sees certain things that goes on, out of the eyes, and then you operate in your life that way. I'm going to be honest, I would love it to be that way. We would love to know that we could all be loved and it could be one way, but reality it is not, and I'm happy that there is a transmission taking place so we can all see that as a human race on this earth. You see what I'm saying? Even down to the point where they're killing our animals, taking away the habitats of the animals. Nobody cares anymore, I don't really think that we need to know. The way that I look at it is like, we can breathe, we're awake, but there's some changes that have to be made because, the society now, and as I always speak and Sister Messiah, I tell you that the Great Mother is not playing anymore. Enough is enough. Humanity has totally lost their minds, and humanity now is not seeing that we must bring the greater love back to this universe, and that means, we have to first of all recognize that nothing, even the cosmos, is not one color. Of course you have your dark matter. If you look at the nebulas, if you look at the stars, it's all beautiful. You look under the sea, 1,500 feet under the sea, and it's all different colors. And we have to recognize as a race of people on this earth that we have to bring that love back and realize that that's what it's about. And then it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter because at the end of the day, I don't care, who cares where the energy came from. We know it is never destroyed or it doesn't, it always exists. But we have to make a change in the mindset, and I'm happy the transformation is coming about.
Yes, indeed. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Hey, that's hey.
Yeah, I mean, because, my thing is enough is enough. Enough is enough. I mean, the killing, like I said earlier, the destruction, and I'm talking about the destruction of the trees. We talk to trees. I love the trees. I talk to nature. I talk to the birds. I talk to the squirrels. And since I'm a Messiah, I talk to the trees, and it's like, you see people that are hurt, and you don't want to see them hurt. You see so much going on, so you want to, you want to make a change. You want Mother to bring her wrath, or whoever's going to bring the wrath and say, what, enough is enough. We have to, bring the love back. So
that's exactly what it's all about.
Right, exactly. All right, well, I do want to get into this, and at 11 o'clock, again, family, those that are on the chat and on the lines, we're going to be taking questions. For those of you who just came in, Chris is our special guest tonight, okay? And Chris has already talked about some of the things he did if you missed it, but he is a quantum energy practitioner. A quantum energy practitioner. He uses pendulum dowsing methods to find health problems in your body, and he also uses sacred geometry, such as pyramids, to neutralize the quantum energy of a problem that you have in your body. He also gets into the laws of attraction. He's studied the Voodoo, the black magic, okay? So at the end of the day, Chris has a lot of information, family. I put his link in the chat room. You can click on him. Some people said they already looked at the site. I'll put it in again. You all can go straight to the site and check out some of his products and all that he does. He is the owner and operator of the Holistic Ideal Protein. You deal with also live blood detoxes and weight loss.
Correct.
Energy medicine, live blood, and detox and weight loss. Right.
Correct.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the weight loss, because on the second hour we'll get into the law of attraction and how to get rid of that. But we'll get into the weight loss now. So what do you do? What methods do you use to help people with weight loss? Because we get a lot of people that need to lose weight now.
Yeah. The weight loss protocol, it's a product called Ideal Protein, and the reason I got into that is because a lot of my clients would come to me and say, well, can you do something about my weight with energy? And sometimes you can, but for the most part, it's, the answer is get off of your butt and watch what you eat, okay? So it is a type of food product that you follow the protocol, which I help coach you through, and people do lose about 3 pounds a week with it. Now, I also use different types of energy work, so I can check your thyroid, make sure your metabolism is working properly. I can check your mineral levels if you're deficient in a mineral, which is chromium or vanadium. Those two minerals help to digest fats and carbohydrates within your body. So it's very important that your nutrition is level and that your hormones are level. I also work with radionic energy, which is frequency. So I take wristbands, like many of you see in stores, and I put energy within them that you wear 24 hours a day, and it continuously works on you to make adjustments with the frequencies in your body to help with weight loss. And one of the best ones I have is for balancing female hormones. It works fantastic. I also developed one for sleep. So if you have trouble sleeping, you wear this wristband, you sleep like a baby.
Okay. Wow, that's very interesting. Now, what about, I know you have one for the balance of the hormones. What about, because you know how they say when a woman gets older, her metabolism begins to slow down. So will that help as well?
It will help quite a bit. Ultimately, if you understand the hormonal system, the hormones are messengers of information. So if they're not sending the right information to an organ or a gland, it's not going to work properly, and it's going to slow your metabolism down. So basically, if your hormones are out of balance, that means you have a mineral imbalance. Hormones are driven by minerals. Minerals are the most important factor within your body, next to omegas and vitamins and enzymes.
You need those and the essential vitamins. A quick question, Chris: do you happen to use your pendulum to hypnotize people to lose weight?
No, I've never done that. I don't find that necessary.
Okay.
Never gone there.
Okay. Now, you said you use radionics, and I'm very familiar with radionics. How do you feel about the different frequencies of, like the binary beats? How do you feel about that? Do you use any of those methods?
No, I don't work within the binary beats. I just work. The radionic device I have is very crude. It's more of works on intent and vibrations in little bottles of water. So It's something that I use basically just for charging my wristbands and water and the minerals that I use.
Okay. You know, it's funny because I was watching a documentary the other day on how certain frequencies would actually change the water, and it was very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. So
if you research,
actually? Go ahead.
If you research Dr. Emoto, he did extensive research on water frequencies by just putting different words, like a positive word and then a negative word, on different glasses of water. He'd freeze the crystal of it and then put it under a magnifying glass, and the negative word would have an ugly crystal, and the positive word would have a beautiful crystal.
Exactly, and that's who I was watching, Dr. Emoto. That's how I learned that. So it's funny you say that. And that's so true. So, you know, when we talk about Sister Homicide, we've done shows before on the water, how you can actually take a gallon of water and speak into the water and ask the water to, you know, you say, I love you, I want you to heal my body internally, and the water will begin to heal your body.
That's correct. Now, if you go a step further and you use a really good energy tool and do that, it amplifies it that much more.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay, all right, family. Well, what we're going to do is, again, we put the link in the chat room. While we go to the break, you can actually look at Chris's site. He has his tools there, you know, and a lot of the stuff that he uses, the products that he uses for the healing process. Now, when are you going to come over to the United States, Chris? Because I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in what you're doing here.
I just need to be invited.
Okay.
Whoa, okay.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Okay. Anybody who has a question on the lines, you can press 1, and we'll take your questions accordingly. And anybody in the chat, if you have questions, put them in the message, and we'll, you know, talk to them, you know, as we go on. Okay. Now, Sister Homicide, do you have another question before we go to commercial for Chris? Because we still have a few minutes left.
What I was thinking of, do you think being in Canada, that Canada, or Canadians, if you will be more open to this information, or is it that Americans are, or do you think we're raising in consciousness where everyone is, no matter whether you're in Europe, England, Ireland, that people are starting to use non-Western methodologies for healing?
There are certain areas in Canada that are more receptive. BC, Alberta is very receptive. Saskatchewan is getting more. Where I live in Winnipeg is extremely conservative, and it's a tough market. Now, there's something that I should mention here, is that the work that I do, you don't have to be in my office. I have clients in Brisbane, Australia, London, England, all over the world. I do this work over the phone, okay? Over Skype, over the phone. It works just as effective on the phone or Skype as it does with you in my office. So that's something very important to know. Do I need to go to the States? No, we can just do it on the phone. Now, interesting you say about working in the States. Now, if you look at your healthcare system, in Canada, we don't pay for healthcare, okay? If we need an operation, it's paid for. So instead of paying $40,000 to get a heart surgery, pay $50, talk to the crazy bald guy in Canada, and we can fix it over the phone, right? So I got a lot of clients in Florida, California, Colorado, all over the states that call me on a daily basis, and we do help them with their health problems.
Oh, and I know there's an influx, put this on the air, of people going to Canada, Nikki, getting on the bus, going to Canada to get medication. Yeah, you know, because it's cheaper, and, you know, it's amazing. But I think people are seeking other methodologies. You know why? Chris, people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
People are going to the hospital.
Away.
Yeah, you go in the United Snakes of America, or United Shakes of America. That's what I call it. You go in, they're treating symptoms. They're not treating the problem.
Well, that's right, and what I do for, like, when you come in with a symptom, you're going to tell me what the symptom is, and I'm not going to treat the symptom. I'm going to go to the root cause of the problem. I get so deep into things. Do you think about Lyme disease? Okay, Lyme disease can mimic 250 different diseases, okay? And you can see it in a live blood analysis. If every doctor in the world had a live blood analysis dark field microscope in their office, they would cure half the problems in the world.
Wow.
But, that's not what they want to do. Let's be honest here. Family, they don't want it. They'll lose money if they do that. It is what it is. But, Mother's is going to change that soon, too. You'll see. So.
And what's happening, Nikki, to be honest with you, a lot of people, let me, Chris, I know you may see this or hear about this in Canada up north. When you have, for example, they may have, there's a herpes medication called Valtrex, right, Nikki? So when they show the commercial, this will be, you know what I'm saying, with Natalie Cole playing in the background, and then you'll hear a little, what I call a verbal caveat, may cause dizziness, may cause depression, may cause you to kill yourself, may cause you to have night sweats, may cause you dry mouth. They go over a list, but they say real quick of what the medications will do to you, but nobody's paying attention to that while Natalie Cole was singing, this will be, you know what I'm saying? So they're playing the music. But then, I'm like, wow, I think it's very interesting. They're letting you know that this medication is bad for your health. But, hey, if you use it, it's going to cure this, not cure this, but treat all these symptoms. But then you're going to end up being in a worse a position than you already started with the medication, and that's what I'm not feeling it, actually, Chris. I'm not feeling it. It's to me, this healthcare system needs to be checked, and Nikki, we are in this new vibration here, so they're gonna be dealt with.
The biggest problem is that people aren't educated enough on the alternatives, and
right.
One of the bad things is that a lot of people who do work with alternatives are charlatans. There are people who just take your money and they don't care if they help you or not. So they might help you a little bit, but in all reality, they just want to sign you up under a multi-level marketing scheme or have you buy $500 worth of supplements every time you go see them. But people need to be educated on exactly what is out there, and that's why I'm doing radio shows with lovely ladies like you. Is that people need to know what's out there. People need to be directed to my website. I got 18 videos on YouTube that explain the work, my philosophy, and exactly what's going to happen when you do an appointment with me.
Right. Give us your YouTube, because I know someone was asking that in the chat room. I put your link. Is there a link to your YouTube on your webpage?
Yes, there is. Right on the very front page, if you click on the YouTube button, you'll go right to my channel.
Okay. Now, Linus Goodwin in the chat room, you can go ahead and click on the link. I already put the link. It's above you. Click on the link. It'll take you to his webpage, and then you can click on the YouTube button, and you can see his videos. Because as she did ask for energy healing, can Chris give any reading material or websites to understand his work more? So he just said it, and you can click on the link, go to his website. While we go to break, family, you can check out the website while we're on a break. We'll be back. Everybody, our special guest tonight is Chris Kehler. And Chris Kehler is a quantum energy healer, okay? Wait, let me get it right, family. Quantum energy practitioner, okay? And when we come back, we'll take a few questions, and then I'll let Chris go into the law of attraction and how to turn it off, or turn it on, right, Chris? All right, turn it on. So we'll be right back. You're listening to myself, Nicky Love, a.k.a. Voodoo, your spiritual guide, and my sister on my side. So we'll be right back, family, with our special guest. All right, family, we're back. This is your radio host, Nicky Love, a.k.a. Voodoo. I'm your spiritual guide, along with my sister, my co-host on Messiah Soul, and our special guest tonight, Chris Kehler, who is a quantum energy practitioner who uses the Pendulum Dowsing method of finding the health problem in your body. And Chris also uses sacred geometry, such as pyramids, to neutralize the quantum energy of the problem. And he has a vast amount of knowledge. He does much more, and we're going to get into the law of attraction in a minute after we take our questions and callers on the line. So we're going to take our first caller tonight, and our first caller is 612 area code. State your name and where you're calling from.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. Nafisa.
Blessings, Sister Nafisa. How are you?
I'm doing, thank you. I'm interested in finding out what the practitioner can tell me and do.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
I say I'm interested in you telling me, you being the practitioner, and what my situation is and how to correct it.
First of all, we'd have to start by going through your symptoms and to get a baseline of our focus. So do you have any just a little thing to share with me?
Well, I am diabetic.
Okay.
And I would like to know, which I know within my soul or my inner self that I will be healed, but I'm just wondering when. And situation to which I have been having somewhat with this fluttering I've been feeling and little small little pings in my chest area.
Okay, I got my pendulum going. Let me ask a question and see what comes up. It's going to take a 30 seconds or so. So what is the problem? What is the health problem in this person's body?
Yeah.
Let's see what we can get here. What is the health problem? Now, of course, I can't guarantee the 100% accuracy of this because there's always the few things that I do to put your body back together so we can get something accurate. But let's see what comes up here. It might be a good answer. Okay,
all right.
Yeah, there is an entity. There is an entity involved. There is an entity involved.
Hmm.
What type of entity? Now, if you like, I can remove that entity for you right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Will I feel it, or will I feel it? Will it be painful? Will it?
It will be enlightening. Okay, where is the human entity? Where is it? Where is it? Let's find out where it is.
All right.
Where within the body? Okay, so we're going to remove it from your pancreas. Hold on one second. I got to get my pyramid.
All right.
Okay, so I got my pyramid. I'm going to hold it over the phone, and I'm going to direct it at you, and I'm going to give the intent to eliminate the human spirit from your pancreas into the light, okay? What you're probably going to feel, you may feel a tingling, you might feel an upliftment, you might feel lighter, you might even feel some nausea. But let's do this and see what happens, okay?
All right.
What was your name again? What was your name again?
Nafisa.
Okay. Identify and expel all ghosts and spirits from this person's pancreas, and let's take them into the light. Identify, expel. Oh, here we go. I can feel it. Okay, so tell me if you felt anything happening.
I don't know. Something like a tinge of, I'm not sure.
Okay, it's going to be very, very subtle, but you're going to notice a shift of energy in your body. Best way to describe it. Okay, now, of course, we've got to get deeper and deeper into exactly what the problem is, and it takes a good, half hour, 45 minutes to do that. But there's a good example of exactly where I start and how things are done. And it's that quick and that easy.
All right.
And you guys...
Shall I hold on the line, Nikki?
Well, no, Sister Natisa, what we want to do, because the lines are very full, and the lines, the chat is full, so we're going to go to questions from the chat. But what he does do, for anybody who wants more, and I think it's only right, family, he can give you a test here, but you all can get a, full one from, how much do you charge to do that off air, Chris?
$50.
Okay, so for those who want an extensive work done, you need to actually contact them off air because we don't have time enough in the show for everybody to get healed right now. I'm not trying to be funny. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we have a lot of people on the lines and in the chat. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and give his information. Sister Tifa, you can contact him. We'll get his contact information off air if you want further work done, okay?
All right, sounds great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. 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 What we're going to do, family, now we're going to go to the lines. We had a question from Chell67 in the chat room that says to ask you, will there be any, let me see, it's Sister Nikki. Ask him, will any of his products help my father heal faster from his heart surgery?
Oh yes, absolutely. If somebody's had any kind of surgery done, anything like that, what I do is I run different shades of light, like blue light or yellow light, whatever is needed, and I'll also use live photons, which is light particles, and to go in, and the intent is going to be to speed the healing of whatever has been worked on. So it does increase it exponentially when you've had surgery and you do this energy work on it.
Okay. All right. And the second question from Chell67 in the chat is, Sister Nikki, ask him, do the water stones dissolve in the water, or do we let them sit in the water and pour it off?
Yeah, you're talking about the shungite stones. The shungite stones do not dissolve. They are reusable for up to about 6 to 8 months, okay? And the shungite stones are going to add all the 98 different minerals into your water. It's going to purify the water because it acts like almost like carbon, and it's also going to add healing energies to your water. If you do the research on shungite, it's a secret stone that comes from Russia, and there's a lot of really neat information on it if you research it on the internet.
Okay. All right, so I hope that answered your question. Now, we're going to go to the next question from the chat.
Okay.
Some people, let me see, Lennis Goodwin in the chat says, do you train people?
Yes, I do. If somebody wants to be trained, of course I have to make sure that this person is going to be able to handle the energies that we're going to be working with. And I have to know if you're light or dark, of course. I do have one student in London, England, who's doing extremely well with this. So a lot of people, what I do is just charge you a nominal fee to do training. You get a copy of my charts, and we'll see what tools you need, and we'll set you up and get you training, because ultimately this type of work needs to be done all over the world. People need to know about this, people need to practice it, and people need to use it.
Very true. Okay, the second question from Lennis Goodwin is, she says, on the website, I see the Ideal Protein, which is a food supplement, but I want to know what energetically can be done for weight loss, she put for weight like an energy product. Didn't you say you had the bracelets or something for the weight?
Yeah, I do have, like I said before, there's many ways to cook a potato, so it all depends on what you need for weight loss. So if it's just a matter of adjusting your diet, well, that's a no-brainer. But if there's a thyroid issue, if you have a kidney issue and your body's retaining water, if there's some kind of impedance in your metabolism, using the pendulum and using the energy, we can find out what it is, move it out so that your body can start losing weight. There's a lot of people who do every diet under the sun and they exercise like crazy, but they just can't lose weight. That's because there's some type of imbalance in their body, that their body is saying, I don't want to lose weight just in case there's a problem. It's an instinct that your body's going to hold on to weight in case you need it.
Very true. Okay. I hope that answers the questions. Now we're going to go back to the lines. We have a 917. 917, you're on the air. State your name and where you're calling from.
Peace, sister. Peace, Chris. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Blessing.
I have a question to ask you. I wanted to find out with the Pendulum. I'm looking at your website right now, and I see quite a few of the products, and I'm interested in some of them. Could you ask the Pendulum what would be best suited for my needs?
That's something that we'd have to do off air, because I want to be 100% accurate. So what you could do is just give me a call sometime, and of course I'm not going to charge you for that. We can do it over the phone, and we can find out for sure exactly what would be best for you.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. And I wanted to ask also, the pyramids that I'm looking at in the sun ring, are they made out of copper by chance? Like what metals are sun ring?
The base metals are copper, but they're coated in pure gold and pure platinum.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, okay, we're going to go back to the chat. And let's see. Okay, Lennis Goodwin says, how did Chris get into this work? How did you begin to deal with energy healing? And
that's a good question, and I'm going to take a minute and tell you, okay? I've only been doing this work for about 5 years, okay? About 6 years ago, my first wife passed away. She had a rare disease called scleroderma. So when she passed away, I was 45 years old, and I was able to retire. So you know what? I thought I was in the printing industry for 28 years. That was my career. So when I retired, the old saying goes, one door closes, another door opens. So I had stumbled upon a store in one of my local malls and discovered this fellow named Sean who does muscle testing. So we started talking. Long story short, I ended up buying a course from somebody in Manitoba who sells this course. And because I was retired and had nothing better to do, I'd go to this guy's store every day, and he'd teach me how to do it. So I found that I was picking it up pretty quick, and he was quite amazed too that my intuition was really getting into it. So then I started meeting other people who do radionics and the energies, and I took some courses from the Dowsing Institute of Canada and a few different things. And what I started doing was taking all the good parts of everything I learned and developed my own way of doing things. So I came upon this naturally. I really didn't take too many courses. I didn't really learn from too many people except for myself because, of course, I had nothing to do all day but research this and to do it. So long story short, I've come to it naturally. I work outside of the box. I don't work within somebody's parameters that I've been taught from a certain school or anything like that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I find that this is my calling. Everything I've done in life, all the trials and tribulations I've gone through, have prepared me to do this.
Okay. Okay, we're going to put the website again for those of you who missed the website because I see they're asking. Okay, now, Leonard says, if someone does not believe in this energy work, will it still work? And what kind of challenges does he have in your practice?
If somebody doesn't believe in it, of course, if they don't believe in it, they're not going to come to my clinic or they're not going to book an appointment. But I have had people who come and sat across me and said, okay, prove to me something. So I would use my pendulum and it would tell them something. They go, oh, that was just lucky. So I would do some energy work and I'd say, did you feel any energy moving? He says, well, yeah, maybe, but I think it was just because of this or that. So ultimately their health problem goes away, but they still doubt how it happened. So my favorite saying is, it doesn't matter how your health problem goes away as long as it's gone. So basically, people who don't agree with it, it is going to work, but they're just not going to admit it worked because, of course, now they're going to make themselves look stupid for doubting
right.
it. My biggest challenges are if you take people with really chronic illnesses like severe MS and cerebral palsy, there's a lot going on with people with those types of chronic illnesses. Like there's very, very deep-seated health problems that probably go back past lives and parallel lives and that type of thing. And it takes a lot of digging and a lot of asking and looking to find these issues.
Okay, that's very true. And it's funny because I remember in 2005 they diagnosed me with a mild case of MS, and I walked out of the doctor's office, said I don't have any damn MS, and walked out and began to take herbs, and I'm walking now with 5-inch heels. Okay, so at the end of
Sure.
the day, really, I went through that. And the thing about it is that I will be talking to you probably off air because I know I got some things I need to work on. But I want to go back to the chat again, and we're going to come to the lines. My Aunt Kepra says, how do you remove curses?
Just with intent. Like I said before, you have to identify exactly what the curse is. Is it a dark witchcraft spell? Is it black magic? Is it voodoo? Is it what? Mm-hmm. And just with the strength of the intent and the tools and my energy, those curses don't stand a chance. They have to leave. By universal law, if you tell them to leave, they have to leave. It's simple as that. Just intending it to go, telling it to go, moving into the chakra system to find out what chakra is being affected, sending it back to the sender times 3, all these different things, they work in conjunction to get rid of the curses and spells.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I apologize to my sister One Rising. She had a question before that, which says, have you used your energy work to help people with other issues other than health-related?
Oh, I work all the time on people with problems within their soul, and like the law of attraction, which we'll get into later. There's many, many different aspects of the aura and chakra system that I work within that people aren't even aware that exist. So, problems, let's say emotional problems, mental health problems, all types of things like that come up, and more so than anything, when you're working with a health problem, there's that big spiritual, universal problem that exists within your soul or within one of your auric bodies that needs to be cleared out. Now, one of the biggest things that has to be done is if a health problem is chronic enough in your physical body, I go into the etheric template, which is the blueprint of your body within your aura. So the best way to describe what that is, we've all heard of phantom pain. Somebody loses a leg and your foot still hurts. Your foot's not there, but it still hurts. How can that happen? That's because that foot still exists within the etheric template. So your body reads the etheric template as the body, so it thinks the foot is still there. So it's going to register as pain, saying that there's something wrong, because ultimately you lost your leg for a reason. So if somebody comes in and they're missing a leg, but the leg still hurts, I work on the leg as if it's still there within the etheric template, and it makes all the changes, and it works great.
Oh, wow. Good. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, we're going to take one more question from the chat. We're going to go to the lines, and then we'll get into the law of attraction. Now, Leonard says, can he do something right now with this audience with his energy work or pyramids to give us a sample of this energy experience?
Yes, I can. Now, how strong it's going to be, it's hard to say. So what I'm going to do is take my pyramid, I'm going to hold it up to the phone, and I'm going to intend...
Before you do that, please hold on. Before you do that, hold that thought, because I would need the listening audience to understand this. Now, we asked him to do this, so that means we don't need any negative thinking in here. So I need people to open their minds, and I need you to just embrace the energy he's about to send. Because if anybody's thinking negatively, you're right, it's not going to work. So let's make sure the minds of the people in the chat and on the lines are open to receive this energy. So now you can go ahead.
Okay, now, important to know for everybody, if you're on a computer, make sure your hands are on the computer. If you're on the phone, make sure you're touching the phone in one way, shape, or form, okay? It's going to work that much better. So we're going to send live photons to everybody's etheric template and physical body. Everybody listening, we're going to beam in live photons. So what you're probably going to feel is a slight tingling within your hands, your fingers. You might feel heat or cold somewhere. Everybody's going to be a little different. And if you're in the chat room, maybe just let us know if you're feeling something, okay? Live photons. We're going to charge everybody listening with live photons. And a lot of people are taking this in because it's almost pulling me over. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Did anybody feel anything?
I felt something in my thumb.
Yeah, I felt tingling in my hands, yeah.
My thumb.
Okay, somebody in the chat room said they felt the vibration. Somebody said left index. Somebody said tingling in my hands. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see if anybody heard on the lines. We're going to go to the lines real quick. 973, you are on the air. State your name, Suleiman.
Yeah, I actually felt tingling in my right thumb and my left thumb. A little bit of burning sensation, kind of tingling.
I'm still feeling it.
Yeah, it's still there myself. Yeah, I guess we all connected on one accord then. That's powerful. It's definitely powerful. What I wanted to ask him was, the pyramids that he creates, how do you charge them? Because I think I might have missed that. Do you have to put them in the sun or something like that?
The pyramids retain their own energy. So the person that makes them, his energy goes into it, and all the crystals, all of the magnets, everything else within it, it all maintains its own energy.
Okay. Wow. That's I think that was a very powerful demonstration.
That was just a demonstration.
I was like, imagine if you could put that in an energy drink. Please, everybody would be levitating.
Exactly. All right, well, we're going to go to the Lions family. We have a 414. 414, you're on the air.
Greetings, ladies. Hello, and Mr. Chris.
Hi.
Forgive me, I might be the nerd. I had one hand on the phone and the other hand on the laptop. I felt the tingling in the left finger, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I took it in the right hand and the thumb. I'm still feeling it, too.
Well, I'm enjoying the energy. He listens to you in the room, and we will continue to listen as long as you're on the air.
Okay. Thank you for calling in.
Chris.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, family, what we're going to do is we're going to come back, and we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back, and then we are going to talk about the law of attraction and how to turn it on with our special guest, Chris Kehler. We'll be right back, family. Okay, we're back, family. This is your radio host, Nicky Love, a.k.a. Wunam, your spiritual guide, along with my sister, my co-host on my side, Soul, and our special guest, Chris Kehler. I want to say this. We have Caramel 28 who just joined us, who's in the Canada area. Long time no see. Caramel 28 is in the chat, and she's in the Canada area. Now, I want to say this. Now, we know that people talk about the laws of attraction. The biggest thing was The Secret, and we actually had one of the guys off of The Secrets on a show here 2 years ago, off the DVD, The Secret. Now, one of the biggest questions that I had from many of the listeners was, I can't do it. How do you attract something? How is he attracting $1 million and I can't? So you're saying that you can actually turn that ability on where we can actually really attract the things that we want, law of attraction.
Yes, I can, and yes, I have. I've had quite a bit of success with it. This is something I only discovered maybe a couple months ago, maybe 3 months ago. Now, if you look at the law of attraction or The Secret, to understand what it exactly is, it's a way to manifest something, okay, or a manifesting body. So everybody has a law of attraction. So if you look at it as a body, let's say within your aura, within your energy, okay, it's not something that is out there. It's within us. We can manifest. So let's look at your law of attraction, and we can test it. So I can ask what is negative within your law of attraction, and something may come up like an entity, a negative energy, or it could have a reverse polarity. So now your law of attraction is working backwards. It might not be working at all, and we need to clear out your law of attraction so that you can start to manifest, because everybody has this ability, okay? So once we've done that, find out what is within your law of attraction, let's say bogging it down, then the secret of the secret, it has to be connected to what's called the crystal body within your aura. That's another manifesting body. So if those two aren't connected properly, then the law of attraction is going to be kind of, cattywampus. You might ask for something and get, something not quite what you want, or something like that. So let's take for instance, somebody who wants perfect health, but they got bad health. Their law of attraction is working backwards. Okay, so simply by working just as it was a health problem, removing all the negative things within it, activating it, then it starts to work for you. Now, something very, very important you got to remember when you're manifesting something, there's an old saying, and it goes like this: be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. So here's an example. So somebody asks for peace, love, and joy within their life. All of a sudden, they lose their marriage and they get fired from their job because both of those things are making them miserable. Okay? So you have to do things in a roundabout way. Now, of course, everybody wants money. Okay? So how are you going to get money? If you try to manifest $1 million, it's just not going to appear in front of you. So what I do is I manifest that I have more clients coming to my business, because that's what's going to make me money. So if you do things, if you don't put the cart before the horse, it's going to work a lot more efficiently for you.
Okay. Very interesting. So basically, when they're what they're doing is they're actually, complaining about the very thing that is, causing them the problem of not being able to manifest what they want, and it's actually manifesting more of that in their lives opposed to what they want.
Sure. If you keep on saying, I want money, I want love, you're going to keep on wanting. So you have to, use certain words like I manifest love, I manifest money, instead of I want.
I manifest $1 million.
Look in your bank account.
And it shall be mine. Hey, I agree totally.
The funniest thing is that, really, a lot of people want money and don't realize that sometimes money is not the root to all of your problems. I know people have millions of dollars who are totally unhappy right now. So one of the things I try to do is I try to manifest, financial stability along with, peace and love in the household with humanity. Because, it would be nice to, win the lottery, but I really don't care about that. People look at me like I'm crazy, but I really don't. Like, well, so what? I get a lot of money. What am I going to do? Pay off all my bills, and is that still going to make me happy? It'll make me more finances, richer, where I can, I don't have to worry about it. But really, at the end of this, that we want, especially when you are, and I'm a side, I talk about this all the time, as spiritual as we are, and dealing with nature. I just know that nature provides everything that we need to sustain life. Quite naturally, you do have to pay bills, but one of the things people have to realize is that you have to ask yourself the question, why do I want $10 million? For what reason?
Right.
Why do I want that Mercedes-Benz? Why did I want that Mercedes-Benz? A Honda do it'll get me back and forth to my job, or get me back and forth to do what I have to do. You see what I'm saying? And I think, society has the way, it socializes and brainwashes to the point where we think that we have to have the greater materialistic things, including $1 million and $10 million, not realizing, is that going to satisfy your soul? So, I mean, I think what he says is very true. You manifest that love in your life, you manifest that business in your life, and, and I actually do that all the time. It's like I manifest peace. I manifest peace. I manifest enough money to make sure that the bills are paid. Do I need an extra? So, yeah, it would help to have a little extra, but really, as long as we have food, clothing, and shelter, So I think it, it makes a difference. A lot of people want to hit the lottery, and sometimes they don't realize that it's more of a headache than anything.
But you know what I was thinking, Chris and Nikki? The thing about it is, you have some people that have it, but they either their health is so bad they can't enjoy it anyway.
Right.
So I think that's part of the thing about life, which is I call the quality of life. And one of the things, Nikki, that I enjoy the most is reserving that, and to enjoy nature. That's for me personally. You know what I'm saying? And to breathe. I tell you, breathing is a big deal to me. Being able to breathe, because you have people right now, they have a lot. Financially, they're off, but their quality of life is horrible. So that's one of the things that I always say, let's preserve the life force, the chi, the energy, and enjoy, Because what did you get into a society where you can't spend the money? What's more important is firewood, oil, or certain things like that, other than money. That's why we get back to the bartering system anyway, I think, in the near future.
Okay. Well,
that could happen very soon.
Yeah, I see it happening very soon. I do. The way this economic system is going, is the stock market is going to crash, the banks are going to go bankrupt, all kind of stuff is going crazy. But, Chris, give the people, let's talk about where people can meet you at, and let everybody know that you can do this work over the phone. Okay, for those that are not in the Canada area, he does do the work over the phone, and I love the prices because they're very affordable. It sounds like, just like when we charge $50 for readings, so it's very affordable, and I guess, depending on whatever work you need done, it may vary like we do with our spiritual work. So, Chris, give people that information where they can reach you out. We did put your link in the chat room, but I want you to say it on air because some listeners are not in the chat, how they can reach you, and maybe, what goes on when they call you.
Okay, the name of my company is Chris Kehler Holistic. You can just Google it, and you'll get all kinds of stuff coming up. My website is chriskehler.net, and it's spelled CHRISKEHLER.net. I'm also on YouTube. You can just do a search on YouTube. I'm also on Facebook. I've got everything going for me, so nobody's got an excuse that they can't find me, okay? And my work is done over the phone, over Skype, and I've worked on people all over the world, literally. Australia, I've got 5 clients. London, England, I've got about 5 clients. Lots of people in the Florida and California area I work with. Also, the North Dakota area, I have lots of people. So there's 3 really unique areas where people are accessing me. The price is only $50 a session. A session is 1 hour long. Generally, for most health problems, you might run 3 or 4 or 5 sessions, and that's it. And I don't try to get you to buy more sessions than what you need. I just give you what you need. My goal is to fix your health problem as fast as possible and take as little money as I can from you, okay?
Yeah, that is beautiful. Again, and again, family, that website is www.chriskehler.net, and that's CHRISKEHLER.net. He has some wonderful products on there, too. So you all be sure to check that out, and, we'll promote it from time to time, because I know a lot of people are turning towards, other sources of healing because they're tired of the dis-ease that they're experiencing and getting sicker and sicker with the, medication. I know I was in the medical field and got out of it because of this. But, family, again, we do want to make sure that, we want to find other methods of healing. I'm tired of the medicine. I'm tired of the, the stuff that they're putting out here that's not working and that is killing you further, So be sure to definitely check out his website. And just to give you all an idea, I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the products. Here's the shungite water stones. Here's a sun ring, neutralization rings, triple pyramid with sun ring, single pyramid 7-inch. He has the crystalline beamer with shungite quantum point technology energy bracelets as well. So, family, be sure to check them out and get your consultation, find out what's going on. And in reference to Chelsea 7, I think it was in the chat room, in reference to your dad, I know you had a question about that. You can go ahead and, look at the site and maybe give him a call off here. Now, is there a number they can reach you at as well for those who don't have an access to a computer and they need to contact you?
Right. My office number in Winnipeg is area code 204-255-0939, and that's my clinic.
Okay, everybody, write that down. That's 204-255-0939. His name is Chris Kehler, okay? And you'll be sure to, you can check him out. You can, Google him. For those who don't have an access, you have the phone number to the clinic. He does work with people all around the world. It's just not in Canada, okay? And for those who came in late, Chris is a quantum energy practitioner. He uses pendulum dowsing methods to find health problems in your body. He also uses sacred geometry such as pyramids to neutralize the quantum energy of the problem. He also deals with the weight loss, energy medicine, live blood, and detox, okay? So definitely another source and, add it to your knowledge data bank, as we always say here. Mm-hmm. Let's see. We have one more question from the chat, Chris, for you, and it says, can Chris share a healing story real quick before you go? We got 6 minutes left.
Oh, the healing stories are I'm going to do one about a physical problem, and I'll give you a story about a spiritual problem. A family member came to me and said, okay, Chris, show me this crazy stuff you do. So we were at the cottage one weekend, and so I pull out all my stuff. And so I said to him, what kind of health problem do you have? He says, well, you know what, Chris, every night before I go to bed, I get this pain right between my shoulder blades. And it's only before I go to bed, and it doesn't let me sleep at night. When I get up in the morning, it goes away. So I start dowsing, and it came up that this person had a voodoo spell. I says, I says, Mike, you got a voodoo spell. And he looked at me with his, rolled his eyes a bit, then he looked at me and said, oh, you know what? That damn ex-wife of mine. So this ex-wife is sending him negative energy. So we removed it, and that night he had no pain. In 1 month's time, his ex-wife has hip problems. So
wow.
There's proof in the pudding right there that something did work, and it was just the voodoo spell. I've helped people with diabetes, one treatment, and all of a sudden their blood sugars are balanced. Any kind of pain in your body, I've been able to pull out within a few treatments. It goes on and on and on, because daily I work on about 10, 15 people a day, and 90% of them all get some kind of relief. Most of them do. Their health problem is completely gone.
And Chris, you're gonna do a bartering deal with me and Sister Messiah, right?
I certainly am.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, we definitely would love to have you back on the show again. It's a pleasure. Thank you for coming on and sharing this information and giving people more information to add to their knowledge database. Go ahead, Sister Messiah.
Thank you so much for having me.
I think it's refreshing, and I think hopefully we'll be in contact off air, and I know we will. And I think it's a beautiful thing for the family to share this, what I call spiritual technology. Let's put the brakes on the FDA, goddammit. The Food and Drug Administration. Not saying you want to put the brakes on them, but we need other alternate forms. Right now we have biofuels. We have different types of technology. You know what I'm saying? We got wireless internet and all that other stuff. So why not have some good spiritual technology going on as well as we move into this fifth dimension, Nikki? I love it.
Awesome.
It's beautiful.
All right.
Thank you, ladies, so much.